What I've looked for is industries going through change. Because if it's steady state, it's kind of okay. You optimize, you cut cost 10%, you add two features. It's a little boring. But industries that are going through a lot of change from a product perspective are a fun place to be in. And that's what's happening with automotive. If I take an analogy, it's sort of what happened to mobile phones when the iPhone came out. Massive change. The world was never the same again. So it's iPhone and Android, and smartphones used to be, well, there's these 5% of the population that'll use a smartphone. It's hard to find somebody that doesn't use a smartphone nowadays.
Agreed.
Yes, touch screens and smartphones and a lot of stuff, apps. We all take this for granted. 15 years ago, they didn't exist. Nobody could tell you what a mobile app was because well, BlackBerry sort of had one, but it wasn't. That's what's happening to the auto industry. You know,
Okay.
Compared to where the auto industry was, say, 5 years ago, and where it will be 5 or 10 years ago, it's going to be unrecognizable. So, and this is software, this is electric vehicles, this is completely reinventing the way cars are built. Tesla is one example. Tesla is my analogy for something like Apple. They sort of deliver the whole thing. Tesla is a tech company building cars, not a car company building tech.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
other companies are trying to figure out how to reinvent themselves. And that's where our opportunity at Aptiv really is to be the Android for everybody else. Through software, and software is a key part. That's one thing that's changing. It's now
Yeah.
driven more by software. We call it a software defined vehicle, but it's more than the number of lines of code.
Yeah.
Used to be, oh, well, autos have 15 million lines of code or 500 million lines of code. That's not the point. The software defined vehicle is bringing a mindset of how software is built. If I take consumer devices, how do you start? Well, you start off with what does the consumer want?
Yeah.
Don't start off with this is what the technology is and this is what we're going to do. It's like, no, what do they want? What will they pay for? That's really
Yeah.
important. Every cent counts in a consumer device. When you're shipping 15 million of them, every cent counts. So you start with that, you start with the use case, you figure it out, and then you go backwards. What software, what user experience do I need? What software do I need to deliver that value? And then you say, well, what's the hardware the software runs on? Cars weren't built that way. Cars were, we pick this chip, we pick this hardware, we sprinkle some software fairy dust on the top, and we have a car. We're
Yeah.
flipping that around to start from the use cases, and then the
Okay.
software, and then the technology. That's what the SDV thing is really about. It's not just lines of code. It's a whole
Yeah.
approach to product development, which is a fun place to be. If you ask somebody, well, would you have preferred to be in mobile phones when iPhone and Android were coming in? People would say, hell yes, of course, I'd love to do that.
Because of
Well,
the innovation, what was going on, and the new way of thinking.
it's I would think the auto industry is going through the most innovation it has in the last 40 years.